I'm Eli. I am the real Eli. I eat Jesus for breakfast.
What's your fishing question, son?
What's the best way to throw a jig?
Ooh, good question. All right. That was the pup of Walmart. Everybody enjoy. Bye.
Guys, my goodness, there must be something in the air that I'm unaware of. Oh, wait, no, I know what it is. It's the desperate stink of jet skiers looking to wreak havoc on public bodies of water with their unregistered watercraft. This gorgeous weather is here in New England, and the lice are coming out to make you itch. And we've got not one, not two, but 3 calls this week in our FTG segment. Someone pissed you guys off. We're going to find out what the hell happened. We also have an update on the tournament trails from Binya, and we're talking about fishing too damn fast. This week's Just the Tip. Are you covering water too hastily and possibly missing bites? We're going to give you some perspective and some tips, all that and a whole lot more. Guys, go ahead and get yourself something delicious to enjoy. Jigs and Bigs gets started right after this. You guys might want to get used to not hearing that sound because I'm replacing it. I'm replacing it with the fa. I'm just to stay up with the trend. I'm replacing it. So it'll get you. You know, I mean, maybe I'll keep that in the archive to go back, but having it at the ready, I just think having that fa would be fucking great. Man, it's been a friggin' week, you guys. It seriously has. It has not been the weekend I was planning on having for the last 14 to 16 months, but it's just the way that life is. Joe has had himself a week as well. A lot of R&R and discovering a camper fridge full of beer, freshly stocked, which, it's pretty badass. So why don't we actually, before we jump into our weeks, guys, let's go ahead and just let any new listeners out there know exactly what the hell is going on. You're listening to Jigs and Bigs podcast. I'm your host, Bobby Roast Beef. We've got American Vet Fishing, aka Joe Brown, as my trusty co-host with us each and every week. We are a fishing podcast, yes, of course, but we are focused more on the fishing community and all different types of fishing activity and adjacent stuff that goes with it, be it travel, be it all sorts of good stuff. And we like to engage a lot with the community. So you're going to hear us talk with some folks, like some names that you might hear us mention as we do this. Those are our jig heads. Our jig heads are our followers over on Patreon. They get a live stream privately sent to them so that they can chime in with the show that's being produced. Give some feedback. You're going to hear from a bunch of them as we record this right now. And if you're interested, you can go to jigsbigs.com and click our Patreon link right there and go ahead and sign up. It's $5. It gets you a bunch of access to the show getting recorded, plus a special, and I'm so glad I'm remembering to talk about this now, a special Monday morning live stream that I do every single week right before the show gets uploaded and everybody gets to listen to it. So we get to review a little bit, talk about, a little bit further on some topics and things like that. So that's every Monday morning, and it's a whole lot of fun. We've got some merch if you guys are really feeling the Jigs and Bigs goodness, with t-shirts, hats, all kinds of stuff. Maybe you just want to show some love and some support to mine and Joe's team in our tournament trail, the duo tournament trail, Big Jig Energy. You can support us by pick up a Big Jig Energy shirt or a hat. Support us, even a hat for your dog. We got it all. We also we mentioned the tournaments. We host tournaments all over the country, and we've just this year launched a team tournament trail, dividing the country up into different regions. Right now, we're doing some testing with one large region in the Northeast where we are based, and it's been nothing short of amazing. We also do a slot limit tournament, which is a nationwide tournament where it lets everybody around the country kind of compete together on these single event days. And we've got something special coming up on Father's Day. Like, worlds are colliding. We have a team slot limit tournament for Father's Day, and you're not going to want to miss out on that. Registration is open for that. You can go to jigsandbigs.com. There's a link to our tournaments on Fishing Chaos. Go ahead and visit that. Trust me, you're going to want to check that out. It is really, really good stuff. And this weekend wrapped up the multi-species scavenger hunt tournament championship. That was this last weekend, and we'll have official results next week's episode, but tentatively we'll give you that information as well. Good stuff going on, and a little bit of news that's not so happy about that tournament trail. Don't forget, if you like the show and you want to show us some support without dropping any coin, you can definitely do that. Don't forget to rate and review us on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on. Specifically, if you're on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave us a rating. It goes a long way. A review is also absolutely awesome. If we get a review and you're asking a question or something, we'll gladly mention it in there. Or maybe we'll start doing some kind of a contest where we read reviews on Apple Podcasts. I don't know. It's a possibility. Want to also mention, too, there's a couple of segments coming up in the show where we will be engaging with listeners. Like at the beginning of the show, you heard from the real Eli. You heard from the real Eli at the beginning of the show. Well, that was a call that came into our hotline. Our hotline is area code 413-324-8519. So if you want to engage with the show and ask a question for our Live Well segment or submit somebody, in our FTG, that's fuck that guy. You can submit an FTG in there as well as just give us a shout. You can text us there. You don't have to leave a voicemail. By all means, reach out. You're going to want to put that number in your phone, 413-324-8519. Now, with that said, not too bad. We haven't hit 7 minutes yet. Joe, let's talk about our weeks right here, because it's been something. We ended last week's show with some pretty solid shit talk from one of the teams in the tournament trail.
We did.
Dark Thumb was talking some smack, man. We recorded on Friday night, and man, it was kind of crazy. And then something magical happened last week. But we'll talk about that when I go over my week. How was your week, Joe?
Dude, my week was great. Yep. Unfortunately, no fishing. No fishing this week.
Big on the camping this week.
Yep. So this week was busy at work.
Yeah, real busy, yeah.
And then, I won't really get into that.
No.
Bobby knows what I'm talking about. But I had a busy week at work. And then Friday I had off. And that was the maiden voyage of the RV.
The brown
for camping
bus.
Purposes, actually camping. Yeah, dude. So, packed her up, headed out there, stayed local. We went to Sunset View in Munson.
Oh, no shit.
So kind of your neck of the woods.
Yeah.
I am burnt to a crisp, as you guys could see. SPF was not in my cards. It will be for next week. It's not just my face, it's my arms as well and my legs. You think I'm bad? You should see my wife.
Oh, she's even worse.
Oh yeah.
You gotta get that good.
And my sister-in-law.
Oh really?
My sister-in-law as well. Yep. So we got fried. But dude, so we went to this place, it's kind of a local, not huge, but dude, we had such a good friggin' time.
That's awesome.
No hiccups, awesome. No hiccups with the RV. I got that thing set up in like 30 minutes. It was so friggin' easy.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was the only issue I had was with my water pressure regulator that I had bought for it was kind of being a little wonky, but I figured it out and fixed it.
That's cool.
And, yeah, dude. So it was sick. We had such a blast. We had the boys Friday night into Saturday, and then they left with their dad because it was their birthday Saturday. It was their 12th birthday.
No shit.
So they were doing a birthday party with their dad. So they were bummed. They actually wanted to stay with us. They didn't want to go. I was like, well, all your friends are going to your party. So.
Yeah, you guys got to make it. But
they'll be with us next week. But dude. So last night was great. I drank my friggin' face off. A little too much so, but with those mango cards, dude, luckily they're a small percentage, but
they go
dude, I also got my hands on these things called On the Rocks. You ever heard of those?
I have. Are they like
they're kind of like
Pre-mixed
pre-mixed.
cocktails?
Yeah. Drinks.
Okay.
Dude, I'm a big sucker for pina coladas, and they had one, and they're like, I think they're 11 percenters.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude. So 4 of those put me like face down almost. But yeah, dude, it was the dogs were awesome. I was kind of nervous about how the dogs were gonna be. Draco was awesome. But Ice was the same way. She's at home, where she just kind of wanted to be inside the whole time.
Yep.
So we kind of just let her chill inside most of the time. She came out once in a while. She's like, all right, I'm ready to go back in.
Yeah.
But
I'll visit, but
yeah, we were right next to the literally right next to the playground, like park area. So we didn't even see Emma pretty much all weekend. She just like kicked it over there. And yeah, like I said, my brother and my sister-in-law, they were right across from us. So we had a blast. Last night they had a band there. Backstage Pass. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
I have heard of them.
Band.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good.
The campground
it's
circuit
actually
for
like
live entertainment
younger kids,
is
it looks
crazy.
like.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That like wear like the hairband wigs and shit, but they're good, you know.
Definitely.
Yeah, but yeah, unfortunately no fishing. We just got back literally like 20 minutes before you texted me. The RV's still in my driveway. I got to bring it back and pick up my truck. I did get my truck back.
Oh, dude, that's huge.
The Ram is back. Yeah. I got to, they didn't have the opportunity to order my my hitch, the new drop hitch. So they cut me a check, and I just got to order that.
Gotcha.
I think I ordered off Amazon, so it'll be here in like a couple days.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. So outside of that, we got back today. We're all fried. I slept like shit last night. I slept great the first night. Slept like shit last night because my daughter decided to like eat a bunch of sugar that we didn't see. And when she eats a ton of sugar, she does not sleep, dude. She has like nightmares and shit. So she had me up so much last night.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, you little bitch, you snuck a bunch of candy, didn't you? And then she gets like, I hadn't really slept. And she gets up at 7:30. She's like, I was still sleeping. I finally like fell asleep, and she fucking comes into our room and she's like tapping me on the chest. She's like, Daddy, can I go over to the park? I'm like, no. I was like, get over there in the living room, watch TV. Like, leave us alone.
Oh my God, dude.
But next week, Saco River. Heading up to Saco River, heading up there Friday. So I'll be recording from the RV Friday night.
That's awesome, dude. And
then you know what I'm doing is I am gonna bring my BFS setup up there.
Really?
I am.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk that Saco River and give it a shot. I know they got a ton of trout in there. Might be able to clip I'm on the New Hampshire end, so I hear there's not that many smallies up there, but
yeah, you never know what you're gonna run into, especially
I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna give it a shot.
Yeah.
And so maybe I'll clip some smallies, maybe a couple trout. Just give it a shot, see what happens.
Dude, that's awesome, man.
Yeah. So I just gotta get that squared away, and then leave Friday. We're gonna leave Friday morning, head up there, and we're there through Memorial Day weekend. So
that's freaking dope, dude. That is absolutely badass. I did quite a bit of fishing since the last podcast. I really did. I sent it a bunch, but I'll tell you, it was kind of a grind, to be completely honest. Like, my week was kind of nuts. So let's go back. Let's see. So last Saturday morning, right, I went out. So it was the slot limit series. And the slot limit derb is, of course, for those that have been listening to the show for a while, nationwide tournament. And we only count black bass species that fit between the 12 and the 17-inch slot. Anything on the extremes of either end of that, beyond that slot, that does not qualify. But being in the team tournament, anything that I catch above that slot would be great. You know what I mean? So it will get used. It was raining. We had a real limited field too. I think we only had a handful of people that had entered. And I think what it was with that one was just the timing. Like, we had done the April slot. There was like a week or so in between, and then boom, it was like the 9th. It was just, we were right there. And So it was a limited field this time around. I was not looking forward because we had a pretty significant cold front come through that night, and we had just rain all day long. It was just coming down. I was switching between two different raincoats. One that I like fits well and it's all right, but it's not like heavy duty rain kind of shit. So I would put that in my storage and then put on my PVC one, which is a little bit more rigid. I don't like fishing in it so much. And I would change it back out as it dried. But dude, it was cold as hell. So I, off the heels of last week's show, we got a call in the live well from Zach over at Dark Horse Tackle, who is one of the teammates from Team Dark Thumb, who is competing with us. Now, as I read this right now, I'm gonna call up the standings currently in the duo for May, just to kind of get an idea of what we're dealing with. But he had called in and he was like, he goes, we really have two goals when we do these tournaments. One is obviously like we're hoping that we're able to win. The other one is that we hope that we are able to beat Bobby and Joe. Now, I took that and I took that as a challenge, Joe. And you probably remember this because I was overjoyed when this happened. But so I at the time we had a slight lead over them. And it was a slight lead. But then, you've got the biggest fish in our bag, which is 19 and a half inches. But my biggest fish is right behind that at 19 on the nose. And I can't begin to explain the feeling of validation I felt when I had that fish in the net of like, oh, Zechariah. Oh, Zach. And it felt great, which is awesome. So, I mean, that was a good feeling. Now we have a little bit of a lead over Team Dark Thumb. Right now in our bag, I just put in a 16 and a half inch fish.
You did. I'm just looking at it right now.
Yeah, I just put it in a 16 and a half. So it brings up our total to 88.75, which is awesome. Team Dark Thumb is at 80.5. So we have a little bit, nothing that we can be too cocky over, and I'm going to tell you, like the top 7, it's between 93 inches in 7th place and 98 3/4 in 1st. So it's like, it's a fucking race this month. It is crazy.
Hey man, not for nothing.
Yeah.
I'm noticing looking at Team Dark Thumb.
Yep. Oh.
But, looks like Mr. Sean Riggles is the only one that has scoreable fish on the board.
Oh. Oh. Isn't it odd? Isn't it humorous that sometimes it's the people with the biggest mouth that just don't seem to be able to put up? Oh.
Mr. Zechariah.
That's a very, very, very good observation, Joe. I wonder how that's going to play out. I say that, and you know what the bait has been that has just been killing it for me at this one specific body of water is a swim jig. And I have been throwing this swim jig from Brazzolo in a particular color that is just juice. And there are only 2 left at Dark Horse. So I really can't piss Zach off. I want them. I want them because I'm telling you.
I'll order them for you.
They are so scuffed up. They are just, this one jig, like I have thrown this thing everywhere. I've gotten it tangled up in a shit. I'm like, nope, you're the only one I got. We're getting you back. And I have been skipping this thing up against everything, deflecting it off of shit. Like it is seeing some stuff. Next time I see Danny, I got to give him a fucking pat on the back because that's a badass swim jig.
Yeah.
A great color combo too. Like I'm like, it's right in my wheelhouse. I probably said too much. But it was Saturday was really freaking great. I fished, I caught 3 more. So I was on the water for 4 hours and I was like, looking at these last 4 hours, I launched the boat with full intention of I'm going to fish until noon, look back and judge that amount of time. Is it worth it to keep going? And at noon, I decided it was not. I had one 19-inch that did something positive, and then I got 3 other bass that were all under 12. So I said, yep. I said, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to take this as a sign that I should just go enjoy my Saturday. My wife and I went out for dinner that night, and I went to this restaurant with her that has like themed dining rooms, and it was Aladdin theme. Let me set the stage. We had a great meal, by the way. We had a fantastic meal. The food was awesome, but the themed dining room was Aladdin. And she's like, I've seen Aladdin. I like Aladdin. We'll make the reservations for there. I was like, oh, I guess. Okay, fine.
So the real question is, do you have to dress up to go?
You don't.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it. I want to know what Bobby dressed up as.
Yeah, no, I 100% would have dyed myself blue and been the genie. 100%. I would have been walking around in a fucking diaper where, 100%, or like harem pants.
not even, just a straight up like Depend, dude.
Fucking Depend, filling that motherfucker. Oh, God. So we get there, and basically what it is like they decorate the room with like this center like decoration that like it was a magic carpet. And at first, from the pictures online, I was like, oh, there's like actors. No, it's like fucking mannequins just like in there, like spinning around overhead. And then they play the soundtrack of whatever it is like a little bit too loud, like so that you can't ignore it. You know what I mean? Like it's a thing. We had a great time though. It was a fantastic meal. We got home and hung out the rest of that night. I got up that next morning. Did I fish on Sunday that day? No, I didn't. We had running around to because it was Mother's Day, right? So by the way, happy Mother's Day to all the moms, and quite literally every one of our listeners wouldn't be here without your mom. So hey, happy Mother's Day to mom. So, we go out on Sunday, and I'm telling my wife, I'm like, listen, I was like, we got to go. No, actually, let me back up a little bit. We spend the day together, and I'm running some errands and stuff. And that night I had time to go fish. And I was like, at this point, I was already in the mindset of I am fishing the championship coming up this weekend, that just finished right here. It finished at noon today, the championship. I'm like, I have this going on. I am shifting gears. I am not thinking about big bass. I'm thinking multi-species. So I was like, I'm going to go and dial a couple of baits that, I've been hoping to try. And I was like, I'm going to fish this spot here, this one spot. I went to Congamon Junior, and dude, I had a great day. The wind was perfect. It was light winds, but out of the perfect direction. We had clouds overhead. We had a little bit of rain, like off and on, like light shower, just mixing up. It was ideal. I think I caught 5 species in 90 minutes. Something like that. Maybe 2 hours. And I was to the point where I was like, okay, so I know I'm pretty good with finding crappie over here. Let's see if we can just find something that'll measure. Yep, I caught multiples. And I caught them on a bunch of different things, which was great. So I was feeling pretty good about that. I'm like, this is awesome. I get home that night and I'm telling my wife, I was like, this is the kind of outing I'm hoping to just bring you out on, where I can throw like a Bronco blade on one of my spinning combos and let her just go ham and catch a bunch of everything. Because it was fantastic. There were no real wreck boats. Had a couple of pontoons that were doing laps and shit, but no bullshit. I was talking to some of the locals. It was really fun, and a lot of fish whistle going on because I was catching like crazy. And I was listening. What I did is I put on Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, and I just fucking enjoyed it as the sun was going down. Yeah. Dude, it was so good. So I get off the water, I come home, I'm like, things are good. Monday, I'm shows edited, everything's good. I get an email from one of my wedding clients, and their wedding is in June. It's actually the weekend of Father's Day. And they're a great couple. They're a trivia couple. They play. They're a regular trivia team. A great team name too. Tom Hanks Pissin is the name of their trivia team. And their team photo, like every week, is like a different random picture of Tom Hanks making some random face. They're awesome. They're sweethearts. Anthony and Emily, they're awesome. So we have this meeting, and they scheduled the meeting for this past Saturday, like 2 hours before that wedding ceremony I was going to do. And I was like, I can totally fit it in. I don't want to be that guy. Like, I know they want to get their planning done and everything. So I was like, fuck. Yeah. I'm like, that's going to change my Saturday a lot.
Yep.
And I was like, you know what, man? I'm like, I'm going to do the responsible thing, and I'm not going to fish the tournament. I'm not going to fish the championship. So I put up a post, I think it was Monday night, and I got a little stony baloney, and Binya and I had a little conversation, and he's like, how come you're not doing a thing? I was like, I just don't want to fucking, I have so many moving parts that are just so fucking crazy. And on top of that, I found out that day also that my plan for Friday was going to get cut way short because I didn't have my school pickup alternate for me. That fell through. So now I'm like, okay, so I'm getting into this. I'm already going to be 3 hours behind, the start of it. I'm like, it's just not worth it, man. It's
what the ultimate school pickup alternative is, Bobby?
Uber.
Lamborghinis.
Lamborghinis? What the fuck is that?
Walking.
Dude, it's a 30-minute drive. Right? Yeah, she is, dude. It would take her days. She's in West Hampton. I'm in Holyoke, dude. It's a 30-minute drive without hitting the lights at all.
Okay, all right. That's fair. All right.
Lamborghinis, though. I like that. Yeah, it was. I actually had 2 alternates lined up. She had was trying to make plans to hang out with a friend of hers after school, like because after chorus and shit. And then she's like, that fell through. And then her sister, I was like, oh, can you pick her up? She's like, I think so. And she's like, I can't. I'm stuck at work. I was like, okay, no sweat. So I did the responsible thing, and I was like, I put up a post. I was like, I'm going to make it easy on you guys. I'm like, because that's the thing. Tentatively, and I'm gonna do this now. Tentatively, the scores go like this. I think it's. Let me actually take a quick second and look at this. Tentatively, it was really close between John Hagens and Todd Sefton. In third place, Kevin Mahoney came in with 4 points, 4 different species. In second place with 8 species, Todd Sefton. And there's a curveball here at the end. And then John Hagens with 9 species gets 9 points. So tentatively, he's on top. I got a text from Todd at about 12:15 today. And it was a picture of his catchboard with a crappie on it. And it was like 7 inches. Not enough to make it. Had that fish been another inch, like he would have tied John, and it would have come down to total inches is really what it would have come down to. It would have been kind of nuts, but that was really close. I mean, I thought it was great. Here's the bad news. That's the last championship. The whole scavenger hunt is done. And the reason is, and I got to give John credit because he really did a lot to try to get people fired up on multi-species fishing. But my life goal is not going to be wasted trying to get you guys to appreciate other species of fish. You guys don't want to put value on those fish. That's fine. But we're not going to fucking do this tournament again because there was an open this entire week that 0 people registered for. And it's weird because most people, when at expos or live events or even just online, when we talk about this, and I've had actually people in the industry like set me up and say like, oh yeah, Bobby does this tournament. It's really interesting. Everybody blows the smoke up my ass and it's always the same. It's always, hey, that's really cool and innovative and unique and it's awesome. And I was like, you should register. And they're like, no. And the number one reason why was when it was a month long, people were like, yeah, but then I feel like I have to commit to it for a month. And I was like, you are right. So instead, we made a change a year ago and we said, we're going to do it for 7 days, twice a year. No uptick. We put the championship on there. There are, I think, 6 or 8 people that are qualified to drop into the championship for 2026. Next year's championship, it would only be the same 6 or 8 people. So it's just not worth it. So it's, we're gonna put it off. Now that doesn't mean that I'm gonna stop fishing multi-species style fishing. Like I'm gonna go out and do this, but I'm gonna put it where it's gonna do something, and I'm gonna make content. I'm gonna make challenge videos and call other anglers out and say like, okay, so here's the list. What can you do? Let's go ahead and catch them, or whatever, and do some stuff like that. I think that could be awesome. But like, if it's sometimes you just got to shoot a horse that's down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it is what it is. I don't know if that's a real saying. Speaking of real sayings, one of the other things I did this weekend was I dropped the video about the entire April team tournament. And there is some solid gold right off the rip with Wild Bill fishing. Fantastic shit from Wild Bill. It will not disappoint. You guys should definitely check it out. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So then that brings us to like the rest of the week. Well, how did the rest of the week go? So Tuesday, after I made this decision here, I was like, all right, let's go ahead. I hit the same body of water where I went for the slot, and I was like, let's go ahead. We'll send it. Caught a handful. Nothing that was going to help us at all. Nothing that was gonna break. I think I needed to beat 15.5, and I got nothing that was gonna be up there. But I caught a handful, and again, they were all smashing that swim bait, that swim jig, just killing it. And so it was fun. Decided after running around on Friday, I was gonna go back out there and send it, dude.
First skunk
of the week. I was like, motherfucker. Yes, boo. It was hot garbage. Like, I don't know. It was just ridiculous. Got off the water, came back in. Saturday, did not get out on the water. I had my meeting with one couple, got a bunch of their stuff planned out, and their meeting kind of had to happen when it did because I'm officiating their wedding too. In fact, Joe, I need a helping hand for their wedding ceremony. So if you want to play a few songs, like, I'll give you $100 if you want to come in. For real. Like, both my daughters have recital that day, so they can't do it.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So it'll be a whole thing. Yeah, I might need some help or call in a fucking favor from somebody. I can do it on my own, like with a remote, and make it work if need be. But it's a whole lot easier to just fucking have another person there and go like, these are the 3 songs. Just move them up here. You know how to use a computer. It'll be great.
Yeah.
So that had to happen. The wedding ceremony that's been on the books now for like 5 or 6 weeks. That happened, and congrats to Jim and Rebecca. I married them at the Red Lion Inn in Stockbridge, and what a fantastic facility they've got. Like, it's an old place, and like I took a bunch of pictures using that new Instagram Instance app, like of random like knickknacks that were there, like interesting stuff. But it was really fantastic. It was super fast. Turned that right back around. Hung out with my wife. Decided I was going to go out on Sunday, and you and I, Joe, talked a little bit. I think on Saturday at some point. I'm like, I'm kind of up in the air between these 2 bodies of water. And you know what it was that made me kind of change my mind at the last minute was I was thinking about it. I was talking about fishing docks, right? Mm-hmm. This is like that first really, really good weekend that feels like May. Yesterday was nice and warm. It was pretty good, but today was really nice. And I'm like, there's going to be so much wreck traffic at that first place. As badly as I want to hit those docks, and it's going to be like everybody's first go round. So I'm like, I'm going to do that on Monday or Tuesday. I'll go back during the week when it's a little bit slower and put my time in over there. But I noticed while I was at this body of water, these, for the slot and the other days leading up to it, there's a sign over at this place that says no personal watercraft. And there's also a sign that says there's a speed limit of 45 miles an hour. Which is interesting. I've never noticed that before. But the signs were there. I just never noticed them. Like, nothing looks like it's been replaced or anything. So I was like, that's interesting. Well, you know what? I went out today and I met my buddy Jeff. He and I have done a couple of slot limits previously. In fact, he was the guy I was on the boat with when I did the slot over at near your place, Joe. Last May. And I was like, fuck it. We'll go. We'll send it. It'll be fun. We'll do our thing. We get out there. We start fishing this one grassy patch where I've had some really good luck. And he puts a chain pickerel in the boat, probably like a fucking 19 or so, like a nice one, on a bladed jig. It was like, okay. And it was dead calm, but the wind that we were getting was out of the south today. And it was good. But we had like clear skies, like very, very little for clouds. And it was really still with the wind. And I'm like, whatever, we're just going to send it. We're going to do the best that we can. He caught another chain pickerel on a finesse jig with like a Helgramite trailer on it. And this one shook off like right at the boat, which actually for Jeff, that's how he wants it. He's like, I don't want to deal with these
goddamn things.
So he's like, that was a whole win. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I'm trying to correlate, but what was the common link between those 2 baits? Was he doing something different? And it wasn't. It was, I think with that second strike, it just hit him right in the head. So you know what I did, Joe? I was throwing, obviously, that swim jig. And I was throwing a couple of other things that kind of like fit the bill. A real small spinnerbait from Pig Jigs. When we had, especially when the wind was like picking up a little bit. That got a tap, but nothing crazy. I put the boat into some real sketchy shit today. Something I thought was going to be really, really difficult to get into. And I was able to get in there. We saw fish surfacing. And I threw a tumbleweed from Strike King, real small, a way that I've always wanted to rig it. I put it on a wacky hook with a small tungsten nail weight, like a 1/16 ounce weight. And I got a tap on that, and that was it. I was like, you motherfuckers. So I got a bump on a handful of different presentations I had thrown, but nothing to really commit. So I had to put on the Senko. Had to tie a wacky, weightless, had to. And we fished all over the place. And what I did is I made this cast way up under some overhanging limbs, right? It was real dark in there. And there was kind of like rocky, there were rocks at the bank. And I heard the hook smack the rocks. Like I hit it that hard, skipping. I wish I had my GoPro going because it would have looked amazing. So I skipped this thing right in there. And I was like, is that a bite? Like, did I feel that or am I losing my mind? So I reel up and I noticed that my line's moving. So I reel down, fucking jack them. And that was that 16.5. Put that sucker in the boat. I was like, yes, this is great. So that's cool. That helps the cause a little bit. After that, I don't think we caught anything else. We fished for like another 2 hours, went way, way, way up further, and then drifted down with the current, thinking that maybe, we could come across something. Absolutely nothing. On the way back, though, we found 2 dumb motherfuckers on jet skis, zipping around without a care in the goddamn world. So I got a couple of pics of them. Because I'm petty and I'm going to put them in my reel that I'm fucking recording. So then this is what's even crazier, dude. We get to the launch and they are like, there's where this launch is, there's only so much space to be able to put your boat. Like it's really a bad spot, and they're just sitting there. There's no truck like in place. They're just taking up room, just like bullshitting. And I was like, screw it. I'm going to go over here, man. I jump out. Jeff loops back around and I'm coming down and I'm making small talk with him. And as I do, I take a picture of the sign that says no person shall operate a jet ski, a surf jet, or wet bike. I was like, I just want to make sure. And I wanted to take a picture, like a selfie, like, hey, look, like that. But it was way too high up. Like there was no way to fucking do it. So I'm like, I'm just going to snap this pic. It is what it is. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, yeah, that's because I said to Jeff, I was like, should I be the dick? Should I call the cops and then just put my truck at the launch so they can't get out? Take my time loading up. And he's like, man, we were just talking about how like, carrying has kind of made us a little bit more like self-aware of like situations. And he's like, I think that we might be better off to just let this fucking go. It's like, okay, fair enough. So I was like, that's good. That's good. So that was pretty badass, man. It was good to have this done. John says, he chimes in here, goes, I had that 10th fish, but it didn't make it. It was a 7.5-inch yellow perch. John's got a tendency of doing that at the last minute, being like, oh, there's that last point that I need. Fuck you, Bobby. He's got a tendency. Oh, but yeah, it was a good day. I can't complain. It was a whole lot of fun. And I even dropped a new song for what I would call, I guess, the Jigs and Big library. A song all about FTG. And it's fucking great. It kind of hits all the notes that you want, littering, fucking, you name it. Karens, dock cops, like that kind of shit. Yeah, it hits it all. So it's available on Spotify. It's available on Apple Music. Go ahead, give it a stream if you want. It's going to end up in some of my videos and stuff, and probably hear it on the show. It'll be pretty good. But what a wild ass fucking day, Joe. What a wild ass.
Hell
week.
Yeah.
We have, do we have a headline this week, Joe?
We do.
Look at that. Let's dive in. We'll go ahead and get this sucker.
All right, I know we've talked about this a little bit a few months ago, but a little bit of an update. So I just want to catch you guys up because I'm personally excited for it. But former NFL superstar Randy Moss is making a major move into the bass fishing world with a new YouTube series called Chasing 10 with Randy Moss. The show is being launched in partnership with World Bass Enterprises.
Oh, no shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
So, and follows Moss as he chases the ultimate trophy for many anglers, a double-digit 10-pound bass. Moss also became an ambassador for WBE's upcoming event called The Champions, which is scheduled for October 28th through November 1st at Old Hickory Lake in Nashville.
Yep.
The tournament is expected to feature 50 of the world's top professional anglers from multiple major circuits and will reportedly have a record-setting $3.25 million prize pool. And like we had talked to before, from what I'm hearing, it's mostly going to be comprised of obviously MLF and BASS. Haven't heard anything about NPFL. But in interviews, Moss explained that bass fishing became a huge part of his life after football, and especially during recovery from his 2024 cancer battle. He described fishing and being on the water as therapy and said it helped him mentally after retiring from the NFL. The YouTube show is expected to feature celebrity guests from both sports and entertainment, including former teammates like Chris Carter and Dante Culpepper. Moss said the goal of the series is simple: have fun, fish hard, and stay away from negativity, because we all know there's a ton of that in the fishing community right now.
Facts.
As of right now, there's no exact public release date of when these YouTube videos are going to drop, but multiple reports say the first episode of Chasing 10 with Randy Moss is expected to debut in the coming weeks, since the announcement dropped around May 7th. So that likely puts the first episode somewhere in late May or early June. The first episode expected to feature former Minnesota Vikings teammate Chris Carter and Jake Reed fishing alongside Moss, and future episodes are supposed to include celebrities, musicians, comedians, and other pro athletes.
That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
That is really fucking cool, man. And I'm excited to see what happens with the WBE. As far as how where this goes even after this first tournament.
Yeah, is it going to be just like a straight up championship every year?
Yeah.
Like just one event per year? Is it going to turn into... if I was a betting man, I think it would be more towards that.
Yes.
Which is great. I mean, I think it's a great idea. I mean, and the prize pool is stupid. So
it really is. It's fucking crazy.
And I mean, we you and I talked to Jacob Wheeler about it personally.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And he seemed pretty excited.
He's pretty
for it.
stoked on it too. And I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
I just think, I think that's kind of what tournament bass fishing needs, is something like that really just kind of stands alone. You don't need the backstory or anything. You know what I mean? Like, regardless of your format, you can appreciate what's going on. I think it's badass.
Yeah. And you have so many people that are like, BASS is better than MLF and vice versa. So it's like, okay, well, then let's put them all in the same
it's like put up or shut up
prize pool and let it rip.
That's pretty cool, man. I like it. So very interesting, dude. It's good shit. Let's shift gears. We got Binya. He had sent me the video for the tournament update. Let's see what he's got to say.
Hey everyone, Binya here with a tournament standings update. We have 2 events to talk about this week. We wrapped up our second slot series of the season. So the May slot series is all done, all judged. We had 2 anglers in the money. A little bit lower turnout this month, but that's okay. In second place, we had an angler who is no stranger to placing in the money. Probably our most winningest angler, and also probably our youngest. Brody Davis comes in at 164 inches, second place. Congrats, Brody. In first place, we had a near record. If he caught a couple more fish, he may have tied Sean the Fisherman's numbers from last month. We had Alan Moy with 472.25 inches, coming in first place in the slot series. Congrats, guys. The conditions have not been favorable for catching a bunch of fish, so being able to put up numbers like that is very impressive. Going over to the monthly, we've had some movement. We've had some teams all over the place. In the last few days, there's been a lot of submissions changing the standings. Coming in 5th place, we have Duplicate Fish at 95.25. In 4th place, that damn Team Beaver falling down the leaderboard a little bit, moving down to 4th place with 96.5 inches, only 0.25 inches out of 5th. In 3rd place, we have Hula Poppers with 97.25 inches, comfortably holding that 3rd space for a little while here. We have Sticky Rice rolling at 2nd place still, hanging out with their 98-inch bag. And jumping up to 1st place for this week, we have Team Geronimo with 98.5 inches, putting in some monster smallies in the last couple of entries to move themselves up into that top-paying spot. And that's going to wrap it up for this week, guys. We do have one more event that is still ongoing as of this recording. So I'm actually going to kick it back to Bobby to give you guys an update on the Scavenger Hunt Championship. Back to you, Bobby.
So yeah, we had gone over that scavenger hunt stuff earlier, how we've got the 3rd place spot, Kevin Mahoney, with 4 points. At 8 points, we've got Todd Sefton in 2nd place. And in 1st place, the win tentatively, and all these guys take great photos, so it's probably, I could call it, but we're going to judge these legitimate. Tentatively, we've got John Higgins taking the scavenger hunt. Which is it's awesome. It's cool that went down, and all 3 of those guys are hammers when it comes to catching multi-species. They like to switch up their tactics and keep things interesting. So very, very cool stuff. Yeah.
So for next month, Bobby.
Yep.
Did we? I forget. We talked. The St. Lawrence River was in play, right?
It is in play right now. Yes, the lake is not.
It's going to be lights out next month.
Okay. Good. June is going to be crazy. June is going to be nuts, dude. We have 2 slot limits to tournaments that month. It's crazy. We're doing the duos again next month, correct? Yep. The duo is a full month. We got 2 slots.
I'm going to be up the St. Lawrence River for a week.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, right. And I'll give you a little bit of a preview. Benny and I were talking about how we're going to do the Great Lakes as far as like it being its own region. I think it's going to be all of the Great Lakes proper, but I think St. Lawrence is going to be part of that. So it'll be in there. It'll kind of like line up, which means that St. Clair will also be part of that.
Okay.
So it's going to be kind of like built into that whole system. We're kind of like, do we really want to include Champlain in it and make that its own thing? And like, that's how you compete, because I guess there's Champlain feeds the river system. I don't know if I don't know if we're splitting hairs at that point. That's one.
Yeah, I don't want to overcomplicate it.
That's exactly it. I kind of want to make it as simple as possible, but we got some good stuff going on, and next month is going to be absolutely crazy. Next year for the duo series, with the turnout the way that it's been, this is going to continue, and it's going to be absolutely bananas. We got the Wolf from Walmart on here, jumped in. Dave Urquey is with us. He says, Joe, is Joe Dama in the brown Bama? No,
I'm home.
Yeah,
I'm home. I'm back next week. I'll be in the brown bus.
Next week, that'll be an exciting one. You get the Starlink all set up and friggin' let that.
Yeah, we have Starlink and the Wine Guard, like 5G.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Oh, so you cover
we have it. We just have. I just have to hit the switch for it. Basically, we haven't used it yet, but
nice. Dude, that's badass. That is badass. Shit's coming together, man. It's pretty crazy, but we got good shit lined up. Much more to talk about in our next segment. We have an amazing Just the Tip. Are you fishing too fast? Is it costing you fish? Are you leaving fish on the table? We'll find out. And we've got some tips and some perspective that might actually kind of help you. And I, to be perfectly honest, that kind of paid off today. Like it really did. Taking my own advice kind of paid off today. We also have, what else? We have 3 FTG calls. Dave Urquey is one of them. I am one of them. And I think we have another one in there too. We have another FT. We have 3 FTGs in total. It's just going to be nuts. We'll see you guys in a bit. Don't go too far. More Jigs and Bigs goodness coming up right after this.
You said this place was steps from the water.
We just haven't found the steps yet.
How much did we save?
Enough.
Enough to get lost?
Or you could book a stay with Hilton.
Welcome to your oceanfront room, just steps from the water.
The Hilton sale is on now. Book on Hilton.com or the Hilton app and save up to 20% to get the stay you expected. When you want savings, not surprises, it matters where you stay. Hilton, for the stay.
Some things happen fast, like a vacuum finding your lost earring. A dog reacting to the word walk. And settling up with friends on the PayPal app. Send and receive money in seconds. Access your balance to send, shop, pay bills, and more. Download the PayPal app to get started. An account with PayPal is required to send and receive money. A PayPal balance account is required to hold and use a balance.
Wishing you could be there live for the big game, soaking up the atmosphere of the crowd. But too often, life gets busy, or the price holds you back. Priceline is here to help you make it happen. With millions of deals on flights, hotels, and rental cars, you can go see the game live. Don't just dream about the trip, book it with Priceline. Download the Priceline app or visit Priceline.com. Actual prices may vary. Limited time offer.
You don't wash your jersey during a win streak. You don't switch seats when your team's up big. And you definitely don't shave during the playoffs. When things are working, you don't change them. That's why when you drink Jägermeister, you drink it ice cold. Anything else? Well, that'd just be bad luck. Drink it cold or don't drink it at all. Jägermeister. Damn, that's cold.
Drink responsibly. Jägermeister liqueur, 35% alcohol by volume. Imported by Mast Jägermeister, U.S. White Plains, New York.
Transport your senses with Sol de Janeiro's limited edition perfume mist collection at Sephora. Spritz on lush notes of rainforest orchid and crisp sea breeze with Refresco Paraíso. Embrace a floral and fruity scent inspired by Rio's nude beach with Cheeky Bikini. Or capture sun-kissed bliss with Limonada Gelada, where zesty Brazilian lemonade accord meets coconut milk and golden brown sugar. Don't miss Sol de Janeiro's limited edition perfume mist collection only at Sephora.
And perhaps play a little game called Just the Tip. Just for a second, just to see how it feels. Or ouch, ouch, you're on my hair.
Okay.
I think this week's Just the Tip really has to be titled, Fishing Too Fast is Killing Your Bite. Why covering water isn't always finding fish. And I'm going to call a lot of us out right now, including myself for sure. A huge percentage of anglers don't actually fish. We audition casts. I think that's fair to say. Seriously. We roll up to a spot, make 6 casts that are probably too fast, get no bite, and then immediately go, guess there's no fish here. Meanwhile, there was probably a decent fish sitting under a dock the entire time watching your bait fly past at Mach 7. Now, don't get me wrong, covering water is very important, especially like certain times a year, like even right now. Fish move, conditions are going to change, bass, they roam, they're not tied down anywhere. You need to eliminate water efficiently. But somewhere along the line, fishing efficiently turned into fishing as fast as humanly possible. And I'm guilty. And those, by the way, you should know, are not the same thing. Because there's a difference between covering water and actually learning what the water is telling you. A lot of anglers fish too fast because they're chasing confidence. They want instant feedback. They want that moving bait reaction strike. That it's almost like a dopamine hit. And when it doesn't happen immediately, they just leave. There's no fish. We're out. Before the fish even had a chance to really tell them anything. You ever notice how guys will pull up to like a laydown? They'll make one cast to the obvious side, maybe burn a chatterbait past it one time, and then they're just on to the next spot. Meanwhile, that fish could be tucked underneath it, facing the opposite direction, waiting for that bait to hit a very specific angle, and the angler never even gave themselves a chance. This is the important distinction. Efficient anglers eliminate water intelligently. Fast anglers eliminate water randomly. There's a big difference there. Efficient anglers will recognize high percentage targets, understand the angles, adjust, retrieve cadence appropriately, and then know when to slow down. Fast anglers, they just keep moving. Here's the deal. Fishing fast isn't always wrong. Sometimes it's exactly what you need to do. When you're power fishing, crankbaits, chatterbaits, spinnerbaits, lipless, swim baits, those techniques are designed to locate active fish, trigger a reaction, and help you build a pattern quickly. That's a good thing. But once you find something, you need to ask yourself, did I actually fish this area or did I drive by shoot it? Here's when slowing down matters the most. Around high percentage cover. If it looks like too good, fish it thoroughly. Big dock corners, isolated wood, grass points, rock transitions, those places deserve a few extra casts. Tough conditions. Cold fronts, high pressure, heavy fishing pressure. Fish, they're less willing to chase. And that doesn't mean that they won't bite. It just means that you need to stay in the strike zone a little bit longer. If you get follows but no commits, that's a big clue. If the fish are following but they're not eating, you're around them. Most anglers leave way too early, and that's often when a cadence change or a pause, an angle adjustment, or even a follow-up bait will become the key. And honestly, a lot of fishing too fast just comes from impatience. Guilty over here. We live in this weird era now where everybody wants an instant result, instant patterns to come to fruition, and then instant success. But bass fishing has always rewarded observation. Sometimes the best anglers aren't the ones that are fishing the hardest. They're the ones paying attention the most. If you're throwing a spinnerbait down a bank and suddenly you get a bump near chunk rock, let's say, don't just keep rolling down the shoreline. Slow it down. Ask yourself these questions. Was that depth different? Was the retrieve angle different? Was there wind hitting that section? Or was there maybe isolated cover where that bump happened? That one little clue can sometimes unlock the entire lake for you. But if you're not already you're already 50 yards away from it making panic casts. Again, guilty. Here's the big takeaway. The goal isn't to fish slower all the time. The goal is to fish with intention. So there are times to hunt, burn water, and trigger reactions. And then there are other times where you want to milk an area, dissect some cover, and force yourself to actually pay attention. The best anglers will know the difference because sometimes the fish weren't inactive. You just never really gave them a chance to bite. And I know this one's going to hit some nerves. So hit the hotline. What's your biggest bad habit when you're struggling? Is it fishing too fast? Are you changing baits constantly? Are you leaving spots before maybe you should? Or maybe you've got that one story where slowing down absolutely saved your day. Call or text us on the hotline. Let us know. That number is 413-324-8519. Again, put that son of a bitch in your phone. Reach out anytime you need to. So, Joe, this is what I want to know. And be honest. How many times have you done a speed run along a shoreline before realizing that maybe you should have actually fished that whole thing?
Yes. Too many times. Too many times, I want to admit. It's okay if it's. I kind of have tried to take a hybrid approach to it, to where if you're running, let's use the shoreline. If you're running a shoreline, okay, this 50-yard stretch is going to be trash. I'll quickly throw into it, whatever. But this 10-yard, 15-yard stretch under this overhang or this top cover with these docks, I need to slow down and I need to thoroughly work these docks because one thing people don't understand is a lot of people throw, let's use docks, for instance. A lot of people only throw one direction under the dock. And that fish might not want to touch it then, but if you throw it from the other direction because you actually put it in a direction that it's facing, then you might get that reaction strike. So you kind of like you have to attack it from multiple angles.
It's true.
Whatever cover, concealment, or overhead, whatever, or top cover you're fishing. But I'm working on it. Because I am a huge offender of fishing spots far too fast. My ADHD gets to me, and I'm just like, I get on one speed. I'm like, let's go.
And I definitely can relate to that, because there's lots of times where I'll be like, okay, cool, we're going to just do a lap around the entire, whatever happens. And I'll take whatever data I can get, but sometimes I'm not going to get any data because I'm blowing past stuff that could absolutely be the juice and does deserve a little bit more attention. I just go right past it. It's kind of nuts. We have a couple of, this is pretty good that we have some stuff. Learn what the water's telling you. Moana's grandma. That's right. Dave says. And then Eli says, "What's up, boys?" John says, he goes, I do a lot of different type of fishing, but I may look crazy to some, but I'll stop and watch the water for 15 or 20 minutes before I fish a spot. This morning was a prime example. I was looking at a spot. And I mean, we talked about this in the river thing about how like different water patterns and things to look for, like where you have slack water, where like maybe there's something like a rock or a tree that's like causing a little bit of drag, and you have a little bit of slack water there or something, or you've got swirling water from different current streams hitting, and like let that stuff kind of educate you a little bit. But the same thing goes for like if you're looking at like a bunch of grass and then you've got that one stump sticking out of nowhere, or something along those lines. Like pay attention. Today I had an instance where we're fishing this like pretty good sized grass flat, and the grass here is actually starting to come up. It's probably about like 8 to 10 inches from the surface, and it's probably about 5 to 7 feet deep in this area. So I put myself like right on the outside of that, and I threw floating jerkbait on top of that because it was like slick calm. And I'm like, we'll see what happens. I got one swipe at it right at the end. It was actually right after Jeff had hooked into that chain pickerel. I was like, oh shit, this is nuts. Do you need the net? And I went to go grab that, and I looked up and I saw the tail flip right at my jerkbait. I was like, you motherfucker. I could not duplicate it. But it was like one of those things. When I hooked up today, it was because of that. I was like, this bank looks juicy. Like there's all this shade. And that to me seemed, every single bite that we got was in the shade line. And so what we did was we went over to the bank where we had more shade and utilized that to our advantage. And that's when I hooked up with that 16.5, was over there, because I was like, the day was getting over. This is getting to about 12 o'clock where the sun was just about overhead. So it got real critical to pay attention to those spots where we had overhanging brush. Now, let's talk about like, and I hate to fucking even bring this up, but like, I feel like sometimes there's just this confident bait addiction, and I am guilty of it too. I am 100% guilty of it, where like I will almost, just because I am comfortable throwing it and it seems to get bit a bunch, I will almost always grab a paddle tail swim bait when maybe the conditions are like, hey, idiot, throw something that's a little bit more aggressive. This water's a little too dirty, we've got some good wind or cloud cover. Like maybe you need to throw something that's a little bit more aggressive, like call them up. Maybe it's ripping things through grass or whatever. And lots of times I do that. Do you ever find yourself falling into that trap, Joe? Like where you're like,
oh God, yeah. Absolutely.
I could do a whole other Just the Tip about confidence bait addiction. Like, you do. You get into your routine and you're like, yeah, this is what I throw. And it's like, and that's not, necessarily a bad thing. Like if confidence is great, but it's like, you got to kind of put it together. I like Eli says here, it says the pattern within the pattern, the pattern within a pattern. I love that. Mark says, I tend to go too fast. I need to force myself to fish a couple different techniques at a spot that should hold fish. That's a great way to look at it. You know, like if maybe that moving presentation wasn't getting bit, I might throw tight to cover with something that's bottom oriented, you know, a Ned rig or something like that. You know, shit, a wacky, like just to put something else there and kind of play it by ear. And then Dave goes, I like playing checkers, frog, spinnerbait, flip, and dip out. My homie Andy is the chess player, and it works for him. And it works for him this weekend. Sometimes that's just how it is, man. It's crazy shit. It is crazy ass shit. But I feel like what is it? The dad from Growing Pains. He's a psychologist, I believe. We're about to have one of those moments.
Put that down. Put that down.
So we got a call. This first one coming out of New Jersey here from the Bandit.
Bobby, Joe, Jigheads, calling in a little FTG. Could possibly be turning into a fuck this guy because I might upset a couple people, and I'm apologizing ahead of time because it might take 2 phone calls because it's a little extended so that we can get a little backstory. But I was fishing my trout stream. Apparently it was on yesterday, so that was the day that they were stocking. That river is open during open season stocking, so you're allowed to fish it. I was fishing there on my way home from work, as I usually try to do. I know a couple spots that they hide out at. So I was fishing this one stump, and I was murdering them. And all of a sudden, I see this pickup truck in the background, to my left, sitting there, watching me, and it sounds like they're on the phone. So now I'm, like, getting gassed up, thinking somebody's calling DEP or whatever on me because I'm fishing during stock day, and I'm already getting amped up because I know it's open waters and I'm allowed. So I continued to catch about 8 trout, and then it died down. Well, after it died down, DEP walks up on me. So now I'm like, okay, somebody definitely called. I talked to him. Everything was open and fine, perfectly good. It was him sitting in the truck answering emails and phone calls, and then waited for the fight to die down to come and talk to me and check my license. Everything was fine. Talked to me, had a good time. He left on his way. He went back to his truck. 2 other guys walk up, are talking to him. He's telling them that they must have stocked it, that there's fish in there. So now they start walking over by me, talking about how there's no fish in there. They don't see any fish. Now, mind you, I just got done catching a bunch of fish out of there. He continues to talk about how he wants to throw his spinnerbait. I've been murdering them on bug profiles. So he said he didn't see any, wasn't getting any bites. I then caught a fish in front of him. I said, well, it looks like there's no fish in here. So then he said, okay, so I guess there's fish in here. So now I then go and catch a second one. He's like, oh, they're all over by him. Tell me how this fool, probably 30 feet to my right, decides he wants to go and cast his inline spinner all the way across into the hole that I'm fishing, trying to pull all the fish out of my hole. Well, karma is great because, you know, he threw his lure in the tree several times and got snagged casting into my area. We all know. Sorry, the bandit again. I warned you guys it was going to be a second call, and I apologized ahead of time. But here's where it was going to be upsetting to some. We all knew it was going to be a problem when the guy walked up and he had his trout vest on with all his stuff hanging from it and his little hat on. We knew he was that, oh, it's trout stocking day. We're going to go and try to catch a bunch of trout. You know, those part-time weekend warriors. Not even a weekend warrior because I consider myself a weekend warrior, but they're only fishing following the truck type of deal. Well, karma's a bitch, which is why you threw your shit in the fucking tree. Well, I snagged 2 more fish in front of you and made my 12. So, fuck that guy. He can't catch any fish. And I proved it. And I told him what the answer was. told them where they were hiding under the stump he was fishing at, told them they were eating bug profiles. Throw your inline spinner, my friend. Enjoy. Tight lines, guys. Sorry for my rant. Have a good day.
Oh, that's fucking that's fucking juicy right
Perfect.
there. That's fucking awesome. There is like those trout guys, like there is a culture, and it can be very ridiculous where like that's the only fish they put value on are stalker trout. Yep. And like it's just, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I don't know, man. Some of these fools, you know. John says, he goes, sounds like spot burners. And then he says, I feel like there's a Smokey and the Bandit storyline here between the stalking truck and the truck chasers. I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong at all, John. That I feel is very, very spot on. Yeah, it's people are just amazing. And when they try to like fish where you're at, like, dude, come on, buy a clue, please. Like, come on. And especially bank fishing, it's that much worse because your real estate is that much more reduced. Fucking come on. Now, this one I break the fourth wall for.
So I don't know if this is breaking the fourth wall or not, or how this works, but it's Bobby Roastbeef, and I just got off the water. And I'm calling in an FTG, man. I'm calling in an FTG to all of the insanity that I saw getting off the water at this one infamous boat launch around here with terrible parking. Very, very limited. Great place to go and fish, but only a handful of parking spots for trailers. And it just seems like everybody wants to go there and hang out. What I mean by that is, like, I am getting my stuff together. There is a guy parked in the only handicap spot, no handicap placard visible that I saw, just hanging out, doing his thing. Well, I guess taking in the view, I don't know. There was a van that was parked in a trailer spot with no trailer, but the icing on the cake. The icing on the cake was as I was in a parking spot with my boat, getting everything ready, putting my rods away, making sure everything was all set before I take off, a full-ass school bus pulls into this tiny parking lot at the boat launch and parks right behind every single available spot and blocks me in, essentially. And the guy puts his window down and says, "Hey, I like your setup." Now, I love a compliment on my rig. Don't get me wrong, but what the fuck, dude? I thought for a second maybe this was some kind of a school like bus stop, bus turnaround or something like that. But no, this guy just wanted to let me know that he liked my rig, pulling this giant bus full of students into the parking lot just to say, "Hey, bud, nice rig." What the fuck? Fuck that guy.
In 2026, as a parent who has a child in a school system, so help me God, the day ever shows up where my child's school bus driver decides to make a fucking detour to fucking hang out, like, dude, bro, come on.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. It's funny. I didn't even tell. I don't even think I ever told you this, but it was one of the last times I went to the local spot by me.
Yep.
There was no one else there, so it wasn't a big deal. I didn't really care. But I'm like, but there's a car parked, and you know what I'm talking about. There's a car parked, no trailer or anything, but it was parked like perpendicular. So it's taking up like all the 3 spots on the right, or 4 spots on the right there. And I was like, what an idiot. And I like dumped it. And as I just splashed the boat, I just parked. A lady walks up and gets in and leaves. She was just like walking that area and like parked her car to like go take her walk, and then fucking comes back. And I like purposely, I had her like kind of blocked in as I was pulling the trailer out. So I made sure I took my time. So
100%. Yeah. That's the whole thing. Like, so many people utilize these areas which have a very specific fucking role. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a boat launch. It was over I remember like fishing numerous times with Sean, and like you would see people fishing right on the launch, and he would just be like, "Yeah, hey, how's that nice fucking boat fishing ramp they installed for you there? How's that?" And like I went past this lake. It's a shit lake, Haviland Pond in Ludlow. It's a piece of shit. Okay. I go through there, and like you get I think they stock it with trout, and I think that's why you get a lot of people that fish from the bank there, or like the old beach. And yeah, like every time I go by there, I see fucking idiots on the launch with their vehicle pulled right down where it is so that they don't have to unload. It's just laziness is what it is. Yeah. You know, and they just fish right fucking there. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So many of these launches have signage that are just like no fishing at the ramp.
Yep.
And it's like, God, you've got to be the asshole and then fucking make a call or whatever, you know, because it's like nobody fucking gives a shit. It's crazy to me.
My favorite is when they'll be fishing those areas, especially like South Pond in Brookfield.
Yep.
Infamous for like the trout guys, and they'll get close to that dock right there.
Yep.
And I'll start pulling up so I can up to the dock to tie the boat in, and they'll be like, and then they have to reel in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm the asshole.
Yeah.
I'm the asshole because I'm trying to get my boat out of the water.
It's crazy. Maybe what we should do is like, have you ever gone somewhere, Joe, and like you're walking down the street or something, somebody hands you like a religious tract or something like that? Have you ever?
Oh, yeah.
I think we need to fucking create our own from the Church of Jigs and Bigs of Latter-day Saints. We should do our own. And it should be like, just so you're aware. Like, if you're fishing and there is a fucking dock that's got cleats next to a boat ramp,
don't fish there.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, if a boat rolls up, you are the asshole, not the fucking boat that's trying to tie off for whatever reason.
If it's like a young kid, like I get it. He probably doesn't like, especially like,
exactly.
Didn't educate him, but like a fucking adult, like, come on, you know. and to be 100% honest, I don't even really give a fuck if you're fishing there. Just get the fuck out of the way when I'm trying to take my boat out.
Exactly. Like I'm just trying to do what I got to do. Sometimes I'm fucking going to the dock to tie off so I can run into the fucking porta-john and fucking release them around, you know?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And I won't be in there long, trust me. You know, I'm going to be right out. I don't want to be in there any longer than I have to. Eli says, have you seen the coloring sheets with crayons to help people park inside the lines? I have not, but I think that's fucking brilliant. I shared a reel this week on my story, and I forget who the creator was that did it, but basically they're like, oh yeah, do you want to guarantee that you have the whole lake to yourself? Launch your boat and then don't move your truck. And I shared it, and then Adam Blomeke and I had a conversation. He's like, oh yeah, 100% I'd be cutting brake lines and all kinds of shit. Like, I'm like, oh yeah, 100%, you know? Like, oh yeah, I'm just going to back her in and get a little bit further, ease up on the road. Shit. Party on. We got one more call, and this caller is a jighead who is in the live.
Bobby, Joe, is I, Dave Ergy. You heard from the pup. Now you're going to hear from the wolf. I got an FTG for you. Let's go FTG on me. Because here's what happened. This was 2 tournaments ago. Let's just back scroll a little bit. We were doing the slot limit tournament, and, we're out there. Everybody's trying to catch him. I'm talking to Bobby, and I'm probably the worst person to be in a tournament with because I will sit there and talk to you and just fish like the fishing is the automatic part. It's I'm looking for general conversation to have a good time. And so I'm calling my buddy Bobby. Bobby, of course, is out there just sweating it. I'm out here catching personal best spotted bass and just like, and I'm calling Bobby like every 10 minutes. Finally, he just stopped answering the phone. I felt so bad. And then later on, I thought about it. I'm like, dang, if I was having a terrible day, would I want somebody who's killing it to be calling me all the time? No. Now, mind you, if you look at the tournament standings, I did not kill it in the standings, but I had one of the best days fishing I've had in 2026. So FTG on me for poisoning Bobby's ears. Okay, bye.
Nice.
Dave, I caught a limited rainbow trout during a bass tournament, man. It was just not the day I intended on having right there. Yep. Oh my God. There was something also. I don't think I talked about this. It definitely didn't make the video, but that day while I was on the water, I was on the phone with Dave, and Paul hooks into a yellow perch. And he looks at me and he's holding it up. It was a big fat yellow perch. Like it was a good. They've been fucking eating up this year. Every time, like it's crazy, man. Every young one I've caught into has just been a mondo. And he's like, dude, he's like, this is awesome. Check this fish out. He's like, oh, he's peeing on me, and I'm like,
bro, that ain't pee.
Yep. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, yellow perch spawn this time of year, like pretty crazy. I was like, it's not weird if you catch a female, like she could have like a string of eggs, like just falling out of her. And I was like, some people get really weird about that shit and they scoop them up, throw them in the cooler and then cook them and eat them. You know, I'm like, that's not me. And John nails it. He says, skeet, skeet. So this is fucking great. Later that day, we're at the burger and sushi joint, right? And we're stuffing our fat faces in disgust with ourselves with how bad it's been. We're walking at the end of eating. We walk back out to the truck, and my buddy's phone call rings, and it's his wife. And he's on the phone with her. He's like, hey, what's up, honey? And she's like, oh, how'd it go today? He's like, oh, I made a fish come. And I'm looking at him. I'm just like, are you fucking seriously? And he looked at me dead in the fucking face. Dead in the face. And you know what this man said to me?
I'm gonna come.
And I was like, buddy, you and every other yellow perch that's out there. That opened the door to a bunch of jokes that just went fucking in the shitter. It was terrible. John Higgins goes, white bass are bad for that shit too. Nothing worse than going home with fish jizz all over your shit. Fish. Skeet indeed. Gives a whole new name to fucking getting on plane in a skeeter. I'm sorry. That's terrible. I'm a piece of garbage. Guys, we got to wrap this sucker up. We got the live wall coming up after our next break. Don't go too far. We have a few calls in here. It's going to be a real good one. We'll see you guys in a bit. More Jigs and Bigs goodness coming up right after this.
This is a Bose moment. You've been there. Small talk's going nowhere, but then the Bose speaker kicks in. Music you can feel fills the room, and no more chat with Danny from accounts. Your life deserves music. Your music deserves Bose. Find your perfect product at Bose.com.
Your LinkedIn feed can give you daily insights from your professional community. It cannot keep you updated on the daily office gossip.
Oh my gosh, no way.
It can help you stay informed on the latest news and trends in your industry. It cannot stop your boss from trying to start a new office trend. Who's ready for Flip-Flop Fridays? And while we can't stop all of the office jargon...
Does this vibe with our collaborative lattice work metric?
LinkedIn can start taking your career to new heights. LinkedIn is the network that works for you.
Expedia and Visit Scotland invite you to come experience the beauty that awaits in Scotland. The sweep of wild coastlines, quiet lochs, and untamed landscapes. Fresh cuisine that feels rooted in the land. Come experience the kind of stillness that stays with you long after you leave. Plan your Scottish escape today at expedia.com/Visit Scotland.
This episode is brought to you by Subaru. Go further in a long-range Subaru hybrid with up to 581 miles per tank in the Forester hybrid. Longer range, better fuel efficiency, and legendary symmetrical all-wheel drive standard. The Subaru Forester Hybrid. Visit Subaru.com/hybrid to learn more. Maximum range based on EPA estimated combined fuel economy and a full tank of fuel. Actual mileage and range may vary.
Pool days call for cookouts and lots of laundry. This Memorial Day at Lowe's, save $80 on a Charbroil Performance Series 4-burner gas grill. Now just $199. Plus, get up to 45% off select major appliances to keep dishes, clothes, and food fresh. Having fun in the sun is easy with us in your corner. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/27. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See associate or Lowe's.com for details.
Hi there. Welcome to the Live Well, where we crack open a ramp beer and attempt to answer all of your burning questions.
Yeah, we got some good stuff. Morningwood Lake. Dave says, I love this, man. We got 3 calls in the live well. We have a text that we have to go over as well. And actually, Joe, you might be able to give specifically some information with this text. Let's go ahead. We'll dive in. We got our first call right now from Eli. What's Eli have to say?
Hey, it's your favorite caller for the live well segment. Got a question on the water currently, or on the bank currently fishing. A pretty river that has nothing, do nothing banks. The water's a little high, muddy, and I've realized I'm really good when I have like points to throw at and different stuff that looks different. But this stretch of the river that I'm fishing, the bank is almost the exact same throughout the entire thing. So I've been trying to just walk up and down it, find different substrates, stuff like that. But what are your suggestions when you kind of fish in a do nothing bank? What to throw at, what to look for? Got any suggestions? Bye.
That's tough, Eli. But one thing I will tell you is throw a heavy jig. Throw a heavy tungsten jig if you can. And drag it on the bottom and try to get as much data as you can from that. So throw that sucker as far out as you can at like a 45-degree angle, drag it back, and then move like maybe 10 steps and give it another one and cast out. And I say that because if you get stuck in weeds, that gives you, or you pull up some grass, or you hit some rocks or some wood, it'll give you an idea of like, oh, hey, there's something there. By making it a jig, you can be a little bit more like, or even like a heavy Texas rig, like something that's a little bit like snag resistant. I wouldn't go throwing a lipless necessarily right away, because you know, if there is like a down tree or something in there, something you grab onto and you're like, fuck, now I'm stuck. So this way you want to kind of drag through that. And I would say if you have a big piece of tungsten so that you get the most sensitivity as you can out of it, I would definitely recommend like that is kind of like a little cheat code sometimes when you have no idea what's going on. The other idea is if the water clarity and the depth isn't insane, you can always get to, if you have a higher vantage point so you can look up, sometimes you get that overhead view and that can help. If you're fishing with somebody that has a drone, sometimes that can help too. Like if you've got, decent visibility, you might actually be able to see some stuff there. And by getting that bird's eye view, sometimes the water coloration will be enough to kind of give you a little bit of a heads up of like, there is something here I should pay attention to. A lot of times when you're fishing that stuff that's like featureless, you've got to look for the tiniest little feature. So it might be like a pipe or a tube that is feeding water in. Well, with that, you're going to get potential stream of forage that could come in. You're also going to get higher levels of oxygen. So keep that stuff in mind. We got a comment here from John. He says, oh, no. This is more about the Arkansas stuff. But yeah, there's things that you can for sure do to play around, but I would say like a heavy jig to kind of like learn the bottom a little bit. It also isn't a bad idea too, with whatever the weight your jig is, kind of count it down so you know how it falls. So you can learn a little bit on depth too. If you're like, seems to fall like a foot per second, let's say, and you count to 6, you're like, okay, so it's 6 feet deep there before it hits bottom, or it's 10 feet there before it hits bottom, within some kind of estimation. And that'll also help you too if you have like a ledge or some kind of a drop off. You'll get to that and be like, shit, that's weird, So you can kind of do that. Oh, hold on. He says, I later typed into AI my situation and location. It gave me some bigger areas to look at. It was crazy. Cool. That's all I'm going to say there. Joe, what do you have to say?
No, you pretty much hit it exactly on the head. What I was going to say with the heavy tungsten jig, that's your best read on a bottom. So that's going to give you the idea of whether it's, you got rocks, mud, grass, snot, grass, a log, like that's your best bet.
Yeah.
Easy.
The crap that you pull back on it can tell you quite a bit.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep.
And then if you're like, oh shit, we got a bunch of fucking weeds over here. Well, now maybe you make that heavy jig a bladed jig. And you can also calculate it from the top down. So like when that jig hits the water, if you start engaging it right away, well, maybe you count it down like, okay, let's do 2 seconds and then start reeling it in. And then you go, okay, let's see what's 3 look like. And then when you get to like, maybe you get to 4 or 5 and you start grabbing some grass, you're like, so this is where it starts to kind of figure out. So using I guess whatever the presentation that you're using that makes sense for what you're trying to do. And just kind of like keeping an eye as to like what it's telling you, like how long does it take for that presentation to hit bottom?
Right.
It's pretty good. He says 1/2 to an ounce. How heavy are we talking? How deep are we talking? Like that's the thing. Realistically,
how fast is the water?
Yeah, that too. Realistically, like if you're just dragging the bottom, I don't necessarily like if you're dragging the bottom and it's a small pond, it's not like moving water or anything like that. It doesn't really matter as much, I don't think you need to walk around with a 1 ounce flipping jig, because just to do this. But like you throw something that's a little bit heavier, like I probably wouldn't want to do this with something like a 1/4 ounce or lighter. Just because I wouldn't want to wait to hit the bottom. I'd want to get it out there and then drag it and have an idea what's up. So, yeah, 3/8 ounce to 3/4 of an ounce. Awesome. Anywhere in that window, whatever's conventional to what you're throwing. Let's go ahead and dive into this next call. This one is from Brian. I don't think we've heard from Brian yet.
Bobby, Joe, what's up? It's Brian. I'm just calling because I wanted to. First of all, I want to say that I appreciate that you guys put out that episode about rivers and how to fish rivers a couple weeks ago, because I go past the Nemasket River almost every day, and I've been kind of hesitant to fish it. But because of your episode, I was like, hey, why the heck not? Just give it a shot. So I went out there today, and I caught my first ever black crappie. So I was kind of excited. But there's like a fish ladder in between, and this leads me to my question. On the other side of the fish ladder, there is a very calm section of the river and has a ton of weeds. And they're like those really thick broadleaf kind of, under the surface weeds. Is that kind of something that would prohibit fish from inhabiting it? I know that, there are certain types of fish that love those kinds of, thick cover, but is there ever too much of a good thing, I guess is what I'm trying to ask. Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys have a good one.
What do you think here, Joe?
Only one way to find out.
Fish it.
Only one way to find out if, what are we going to throw in there first, Bobby? And check. We're going to throw a jig in there.
Yeah. I mean,
dude, fish love heavy cover. Fish love heavy cover, man, especially largemouth bass, dude. They, I don't know much about that river, and I'm honestly, I'm not huge. I don't have a lot of knowledge on fish ladders. I'll be 100%.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's making its way up there. But dude, you're not going to know unless you try it.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's throw and depending on how thick it actually is, dude, your bladed jig and your tungsten jig are your two best things to kind of grade that spot. If you're looking at it and you're like, oh, I feel like there'd be fish in there, fish it.
Yeah,
fish it. And you're only going to get, the only way you're going to get comfortable with it or confident in it is by doing it. So I definitely recommend, tossing a jig in there. Maybe even if you get yourself, a weedless wacky hook, something like that. Test it out, man. Or even better, depending on, you said it's calm, run a frog over it.
It's funny you say that, Joe, because I was just going to say one of the things that that like recipe right there. He's saying that they're subsurface.
Yeah.
I love to throw like, and I'll say what I like to throw because I have a lot of confidence in it. It's like a big rat, a wake bait. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Something like that up top because it's noisy and it's loud, but it's also very subtle. Like you can really kind of crawl it and have those kind of click and clack. A floating jerkbait, a popper. Something like if we're talking subsurface weeds, those topwaters are great to throw over there because you won't. If the conditions are right and these fish are using those weeds as a way to ambush and they're relating up to some type of forage that's over those weeds, they'll come up and hammer it right out of those weeds. And the thing is, like we talk about largemouth liking vegetation. Pike and pickerel love shallow weeds. They love it. Yes. So you could find a lot of different species that are hiding in this stuff because lots of times in that grass too, especially if it's healthy grass, lots of oxygen. It's a big deal. And cover. You know, you get shade if there's no overhead trees or anything kind of blocking that. It gives a sense of security where like the fish don't have to worry about like birds of prey seeing them and coming and snatching them up, shit like that. So there's a lot of different ways that you can fish grass. They all come with like some kind of headache because you're going to be throwing stuff. But one of the things I love to throw in grass like that is a swim jig. You know, a nice heavy one because it's heavy. It's got enough hardware to be a little bit more snag resistant, but you can weave it through that grass real nice. So a swim jig will work really well. And I would highly recommend you just fish it, man. Throw some shit over there. Yeah. 100%. Fish ladders are super interesting. There's a huge one right near me. And you can barely.
That's like that bitch is an elevator.
Yeah, that is. That's like a fucking straight up. It's like
that kid is on the escalator again,
dude. All these years I've never gone there to check it out ever.
After you retire, Joe, put this in your calendar. You and I, we're going fucking straight up post dispensary run. Okay, lunch, right, and then when we're good and fucking zooted. We'll go to the fucking fish elevator in the tour and fucking watch that shit. And then after it's done, we'll launch the boat and come downriver and fish the other side of it. Just fucking, yeah.
See if we can take the fish elevator.
Yeah. Just ride it.
How long can you hold your breath?
Yeah, I would say there's a lot of shit you can do. I mean, dude, fucking throw a fluke on an EWG. Like, so it's nice and weedless. Yeah. Like, oh my God. So good. Bass Dope Speedball swim jig. Dude, I'm just saying that Brazalo swim jig was just fire for me this weekend. That's what I'm getting at. Don't be afraid to fish that grass. And sometimes the money is right on the edges of that grass. If you can find where that is, go for it, dude. But I got to tell also the best part. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Like folks taking like some of what we're talking about on the show and actually like running with it and doing some cool shit with it. I am all about that. So congrats, dude. I hope you catch a fucking absolute beast out there.
Yes. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know for sure. Call back. Let us know how it turned out. Let us know also if like you lose a bunch of lures in that grass because sometimes that's a way, you know, and actually what you're talking about there, Brian, now that I think about it, is exactly the kind of area where I think that Gentleman's Club jig might shine is in that grass. Half ounce, really unique, no weed guard, but it's designed in a way that's supposed to lean in toward fishing in grass. So this could be really good. Who the hell knows?
Yep.
Freaking badass. We got 2 calls. Let's go. Or I say 1 call, 1 text. Let's dive into this text right here. And this is the one, Joe, I think that you actually might be able to give a little bit of feedback on. So message comes in. I believe this is Kevin, Biohazard Bassin. And he says, love to hear about Joe's Meta glasses. Heard that they only take 30 clips. Are they good for cast-to-catch videos? Also, what app are you using for editing videos? Say I have the Meta glasses and my iPhone, and I want to splice the 2 videos. I'm an old fuck like Bobby, so my tech skills are kind of shit. I'm an old fuck. I'm older than you, Kevin. I think by at least a few years. And my tech skills are not that bad at all. They're actually pretty on. He says, I don't want to wear a GoPro on my head. The chest GoPro is hard to do a cast to catch in the kayak, not facing where I'm casting all the time, which I totally understand that. What about those meta glasses, Joe?
Yeah, I like them. Cast to catch. So it's tough because I've been kind of using them a little differently. So I haven't necessarily been using them cast to catch. A lot of it's been catch and then tell it to start recording type deal.
Yeah.
I do if there's a spot where I'm like, all right, I'm definitely gonna poke one out of here, then I'll start recording and then I'll go. Downside, they only go for 3 minutes at a time. The video recording only goes 3 minutes at a time, for 3 minutes. But the quality is awesome. I use CapCut to edit everything pretty much. And dude, they upload right to your phone. Like the videos upload right to your phone, like in your photos. So it's like a typical video that you took with your, with your phone. So they're super easy to splice, anything like that. Yeah, I mean, I think they're worth it. I love them. I've already taken some pretty good videos with them, throwing them up on the socials. They've done well. That video of Draco stealing my boat was all done in the meta glasses. Yep. Some catches and stuff like that. So, yeah, I think they're great. But at the same time, for cast to catch, I'll be 100% honest, the GoPro on your chest is better, and there's better options to mount that, like Bobby's over the neck and like my like magnetic, like those. I have zero difficulty casting with that. I forget it's even there. That bulky GoPro, like fucking 5-point racing harness. Yeah, that thing sucks, and I get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the meta glasses are awesome. They have their place. Cast to catch is tough because it only records 3 minutes at a time. But I think the cast to catch, I think your best bet is still with the GoPro, and there's better options to where you're not going to have an issue casting from a kayak.
I would say in all honesty, I think your best bet for if it's really cast to catch and you're talking about bank fishing and from the kayak, and I know you're like, I don't want to wear a camera on my head. You can't beat an Insta 360 camera up high over your head. You will get every single angle. As far as like from that area, or mount it behind you on your kayak somehow, like rig it so that it's above you. And that way you get that perspective that's not just your chest, because I understand what you're saying. You're like, might be casting more to the left and you're making that cast this way and you're not getting that angle from where you are. It can be tricky. The meta glasses, I think, are when it records, Joe, does it record like 3 minutes and then it just starts another clip that's recording at 3 minutes?
No, you have to tell it to record again.
Okay. So what I would recommend, honestly,
unless maybe it could be a setting I haven't found yet.
Yeah,
but,
that's possible.
Yeah, as far as I know, that's how it works.
I could see them not wanting it to run constantly because just of the fact, like, it would be collecting so much data constantly and like killing battery and everything else. I am going to tell you, using some kind of a GoPro, and I see some creators that do this, like I'll watch a video and they don't have the camera set to ultra wide. They have it set to like the standard wide view, which is great, but you're missing so much more. That ultra wide is really important for the type of content that we're doing. So that's, for starters, that's a good one. I think if we're talking primarily kayak stuff, get that camera mounted on a pole behind you. That is going to help you way more than you think. Also, pull that battery, run it off of an external battery, run a cable up the pole and let that run that way. The reason why I say that is that you can then run it without it overheating. And you have to you run into this problem too when it's on your chest. Like, get rid of that battery. It will just hold too much heat and will shut it off in the middle of the day when like you finally get that bite. You don't want that to happen. The other thing is, I recommend, if you're just going out to fish and recording a bunch of stuff, use loop mode on your GoPro. There is also a really great what's the word I'm looking for? There's a really great, DJI also does a loop mode style thing where basically the camera just rolls nonstop, and every time there's like something that happens, you click the shutter and it will stop recording for the last 5 minutes and start a brand new clip. So it makes editing that much easier. Whatever you use, whatever camera you use, you should have no problem taking whatever those video files are and importing them into any editing software that you're using, whether it's even on your phone, really, like, you have no problem doing that. It's pretty easy. Of course, here's Eli with a shocking plug for Dark Horse Tackle. So this is why we don't really have to plug Dark Horse, because Eli is a jig head and he does it, but go to Dark Horse Tackle and get a Naqua. Yeah, I mean, that's great. Actually, there are, those battery packs are awesome, and I use one when I'm bank fishing. In a kayak, you might want something a little bit larger that will go a little bit further in the day. But yeah, I would say that's your best thing. I would say look at GoPro and make sure you're just using it right. And that neck mount will work great. It's way more comfortable than the chesty, and it actually picks it up a little bit higher. And using that in ultra wide, home run. All right, we have one more call, and guess who it is?
Hey, boys, it's Eli. I have a question for Live Well. I was talking with some friends this weekend about the river and fishing on the river and all this, and one of them has a float boat that I would have access to, and he was like, "Would you ever be interested in guiding on the river?" And so I guess my question is, what are some essentials that you think a guide has to have? Obviously, I know like the rods, the reels, all that stuff. But what do you think like a guide has to have on a river to make that trip well worth it? And maybe a person that has gone with a guide. I know, Bobby, you've guided a little bit. Joe, I don't know what your guiding experience looks like, but I'm more asking this from the customer's perspective. What do you think that the guy needs to have, or maybe what just makes a good trip a good trip, besides obviously as fish? Have a great day, boys.
So I've learned recently that guiding can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And from the customer standpoint, it can be a little bit of a challenge. You can't, like, some customers are going to a destination body of water and they want to capitalize on all of their time that they're going to spend there. And guiding in that sense, like, you need experience. I mean, I think, well, honestly, whatever it is, you need experience. That's what you're doing as a guide. You're offering up the experience you have in exchange monetarily for folks. So, like, I wouldn't call myself a professional guide, but I've been a customer to professional guides. And I will tell you, like, a lot of the time, like, that's most customers, that's what they want. They want to go and catch trophies. That's what they're looking for. And it can be a challenge. You need some gear because a lot of this depends, Eli, honestly, on the client. Because some clients are going to have zero experience and they're going to need everything. They're going to need the whole kit and caboodle. They're going to need the gear. They have no know-how. They haven't done anything. So you are there to pretty much, you're kind of babysitting them in a way, Other folks, they are like, nope, I'm traveling with a handful of rods and some tackle that I'm comfortable with. I just need your spots, and I need you to bring me to get me on fish. So, I mean, that's the big one with that. But there are guide trips that are also very unique. Like, I was talking with, I got to tell you guys, Joe just lost power and internet, so he's disappeared from the show. So we'll catch up with Joe, and we'll probably revisit this question here. But I would say, like I was talking with Battlefish Charters and specifically Battlefish Academy, and we were discussing with AJ and I were talking about it, and he was telling me a story about how like he had one of the I think it was the inaugural class at Battlefish Academy. They were they would go and hit like their guided trips were like more getting on the river and like I don't want to say like Sasquatch hunting, but more like Sasquatch peeping. And it was more about like the overall experience. And they would go and, you know, bring people where there were like Sasquatch sightings and all this other stuff. Here he goes. He's back. He's back. And you know, that's a different kind of guided trip because you're acting as like the Sherpa. You know, you're bringing somebody out there. So these folks are out doing their thing and just catching, you know, and bringing people out there to do what it is they're doing. When I do guided trips, there are two totally different trips. None of them involve trophies. And the reason is this, because I don't live in an area where it is a fishing destination, you know? So like when I go out, it's like when I went with Cheryl and, the purpose of that guided trip was more of like the education in the specific technique. In that instance, it was bait finesse. Then we have other times like when I was out with Kayla and Kyle, and it was just to get them on fish and have a great time doing it and smoking some weed, you know, but they have a totally sober captain, like, you know, handling the vessel and like walking them through everything, handling the fish. So it can totally be totally different, like depending on what it is that you want to do. But yeah, Eli, if that's something that you're considering, find a body of water, find, you know, whatever it is and figure out like what kind of a trip you have in order. Because I think the biggest thing when it comes to guiding services really is customer service. You know, like putting a package together that's appealing to somebody. And like, you know, like when AJ does his stuff, he will bring people out. He'll do, I forget the river. I want to say it's the Seneca River in New York. And he'll do like big groups of like 15 people. And there's a bridge that they always stop under to have lunch. And there's a restaurant that caters lunch. And he has them lower down lunch on this like pulley system that they've got rigged up on the bridge. And they just drop it right down. It's very cool. So like you can get real creative in the guiding space. But, you know, most people, when they're looking for guides, they want trophies. What do you think, Joe?
I actually kind of have a lot to say to this. So not all guiding is created equal, kind of like how Bobby went over. But my biggest thing is that, you know, and obviously I missed about 2 minutes of it, but you have access to some type of vessel, what's a float boat, whatever. You need to ensure the first thing you do is become an absolute effing expert at that. You need to make sure you are an expert in that vessel before you even consider putting anybody else on it, because the last thing you want to do is look like you don't know what you're doing. And I've been on a trip that happened, and I thought this was the dude's first fucking guiding trip. Second thing, obviously, you need to know the area, you need to know the water, and you need to have patience, because you're going to have people that have no clue what they're doing, and you're going to have to sit there and teach them what to do. Like that Barracuda trip I took, you know, our guide was phenomenal. I obviously had a little bit of history with fishing, but my buddy that we took, he never fished before in his life, you know, so he had to teach him actually how to use the rod, reel, and all that. So yeah, that would be the biggest thing for me. Just become an expert on that vessel, you know, have the correct setups, and make sure you're going in an area where you're gonna hopefully at least catch something. And sorry about the audio. I'm on my phone now because I don't know what happened.
It actually sounds pretty good. It's surprisingly not that bad at all. But yeah, I like exactly what Joe's saying, because I think that that's really important. Like, you want whatever it is that you do, you want to offer the stuff to the utmost like level that you can, like expert level. And the thing is like the minute you take money from somebody to do something like this, there's an expectation that they're going to get the value back out of it. And like, I'm going to be completely upfront here. I haven't charged anybody a dime to go out on my trips. These are practice. This is like me going out to like get an idea of like, hey, do you feel like this would carry this value of a price tag for what it is? Because there's a lot. You got to factor in when you come up with your rates of what it's worth. You got to look at like, what would the rental be for all of the stuff on all by itself? Like my boat is not that expensive. Like in the grand scheme of things, it's a $30,000 investment, but 15% is an average rental rate comparison. I can't charge them that. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? So I got to come up with something that's like something I can live with versus, you know, my time and everything else and make it worth it. Because the moment you charge somebody money to do it, there is the expectation that like, hey, I'm going to get some sort of value. I'm expecting this out of it. And it doesn't necessarily even mean that it's fish. You know, it's like, they have to learn something. It has to be that good of an experience overall, you know, so you might be entertaining people on the water and, you know, that might be part of what it is. Yeah, just something to keep in mind. But man, it is, we couldn't have cut this any better. It is just about 5 o'clock, guys, as we're recording this on a Sunday. And I need to be at trivia in 15 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this show up. But what an amazing show this week. Joe, do you have anything you want to throw in here?
No, man, I don't. Great show. And can't wait to do it next, week from the road.
It's going to be awesome. I'm stoked. You're going to be doing your thing on the in the camper. This would be great. Probably have a few mango carts in as we're going. I'm probably going to be hitting the banana hammock as well. I totally forgot to tell you guys about this. I went to the dispensary and I was just going to reload up on some staple items. And I walked in and I saw the goddamn marketing for Jay and Silent Bob's fucking banana hammock strains. I picked one up, and it's the new fish whistle, and
it's great.
So we're going to go ahead and see you guys next time because I am going to be diving in post trivia and editing this show. So everybody, you guys have yourself a great one. Remember that the Father's Day slot limit tournament is a special slot limit tournament. It is a team tournament. So whether you're fishing with your dad or you just want to jump in as your team, go for it. Jump on in. It's going to be awesome. 12 to 17 inch fish, whole deal. Follow us on all the social medias. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you name it. Reach out. Don't be a stranger. And if you have a question for the show or you just want to give a shout out, whatever it is, you know the deal. The hotline, 413-324-8519. I'm Bobby Roast Beef. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Like we always say,
tits and ass, smoke some grass.
To the stories we told, every bite, every miss, every moment on hold. You showed up, tuned in, stayed through it all. Now we're reeling it back as the night starts to fall. Every download, every share, you kept this thing alive out there. This is one last kiss before you go. If you felt this vibe, let the whole world know. Hit that follow, leave a rate, help us grow this thing we create.
You can't reason with the sun. Trust us, we've tried. This summer, it's time to put that angry ball of fire on mute. Columbia's Omni-Shade technology is engineered to protect you from the sun's harsh rays that can burn and damage your skin. The sun is relentless, but so is our gear. Level up your summer at Columbia.com to spend more time outside and less time slathering on aloe lotion. You're welcome. Columbia, engineered for whatever.